December 21st. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is presented by the St. Johns River Water Management District. And now, a guy who claims to be on the nice list, but we're all pretty sure it's just an allergic reaction to cold, J.P. Shatrick.
And welcome in. It is Jaguars Happy Hour on this Thursday, Week 16. The Jaguars and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up. Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, the site, Christmas Eve. A battle of first-place teams, or teams tied for first place in their respective divisions. Of course, the Jaguars, a three-way tie in the AFC South. They have the tiebreakers and lead the way. The Buccaneers, one of two teams tied at the top of the NFC South. The Jags trying to stop a three-game slide this week on the road. And we'll hear from the head coach, Doug Pederson, coming up at 5 o'clock in studio with us on the Jaguars Radio Network on the Doug Pederson Show. That's about an hour away. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving. We're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. J.P. Shatrick with Jeff Loggeman. Good afternoon, Logs. How are you?
Afternoon, J.P.
Is that zucchini bread on the desk?
It is. I have saved one piece for myself.
Yeah, I'm glad you got in there because everybody else was taking it all. It was awesome.
I know. You got to.
It's that time of year. I mean, you're bringing in, baked goods. Like there was chili last week. It's like that.
Well,
the weather's here now.
I didn't make any of it.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay, my wife,
Tara,
my lovely wife, made it for everybody here.
Lovely.
So and the zucchini bread is killer.
Well, it's that time of year. I mean, food arrives.
How many pieces have you had?
I've had 1.5.
Liar.
You didn't say how big the 1.5 were, but 1.5 depends on how you carve it up, I suppose.
So you had a lot.
You've had more than I had.
I don't know about that.
I know all about that.
That's my second piece right there. I haven't touched it yet.
You can slice up a cake a lot of different ways, and you can slice up a football team a lot of different ways right now. This Jaguars team has lost 3 different weeks in a row, and they've done a lot of things to do that to themselves, and that's priority number 1 this week once you get on the field. Now, obviously the priority number 1 before the game gets here is the health of the quarterback. What's going on with Trevor Lawrence? He's still in the protocol, was not out on the practice field today. Let's see what happens moving ahead, but this is one you're looking out for every single day.
Yeah, obviously the protocol, the concussion protocol is, I don't want to say it's secretive, but it's very private. And so we're not going to know until there is news to announce. We're not going to get an update on progress, where he's at, what he's doing, or anything of that nature. So we just got to kind of wait and see. And I think that pulls a little bit of a question mark into, if you're the head coach, what do you do? If you have a player, starting quarterback, in the concussion protocol, and he doesn't practice Wednesday, he doesn't practice Thursday, and then if he practices Friday, or if he doesn't practice Friday, but then let's say he doesn't practice Friday, he gets cleared on Saturday, what do you do? I think it's a great question.
Well, I think part of the return to play protocol is that you have to be on the field at some point.
Well, you have to be on the field at some point to be able to make sure that things are okay.
Yeah.
Does he get on the field tomorrow? I don't know.
I think he probably has to be qualified
if he's going to play.
That's right.
I mean, I think there's only been one player in the National Football League this year who went in the concussion protocol following a game and then played the next week, I believe. And I think that was Brock Purdy.
Yeah, San Francisco.
So it's not like it happens very often. And then also you have a heightened awareness a little bit just because of what's going on with C.J. Stroud, who looks like he's going to be missing his second consecutive game. It was reported that he may have had a concussion prior to the one that he sustained week and a half ago. So what are the optics of that? And I think that always plays into some of the things that happen in the National Football League when you're dealing with high-profile positions like the quarterback. So don't know what's going to happen with that. But the reality is that, let's say whoever's playing quarterback, now you got a different wide receiving core. Zay Jones is clearly hampered by a hamstring, wasn't able to finish the game the other day. I would be shocked if he's able to go.
I haven't seen him out there in the little media time we've been out there this week.
So he probably will not play, I'm guessing there. And then all of a sudden, no Christian Kirk, no Zay Jones. Those are 2 of your most trusted receiving options for your quarterback. and that's really for any quarterbacks. Now, who's next? Tim Jones?
Parker Washington?
Parker Washington. Well, he has already been up because of Christian Kirk. So now is it Elijah Cooks?
Yeah.
Is it more of a role for Jamal Agnew, who had a wonderful game, by the way, this past week?
Sure. I mean, do you lean more on Evan in the outside kind of route game?
Could.
Evan Ingram?
Where's Brenton Strange at?
Yeah, he's been injured as well. He's been off to the side. A lot of questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. And the one good thing about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they seem to have the same kind of problem at home that the Jaguars have had. Now, they're 500 at home, but their output hasn't been particularly strong as an offense when they've been at home. So hopefully Baker Mayfield is a little off the mark at home once again compared to what he has been on the road. And obviously this past game, he was lights out in Green Bay.
Couldn't have been better.
The only opposing quarterback to ever go in there and to have a perfect quarterback rating. Aaron Rodgers had one or two of them, I think, while he was there. And watching the film, he was really good. I mean, quick, decisive, threw the ball in some incredibly tight windows. But it's not going to be a good football game. They won 3 in a row. They're the 4 seed in the NFC, leading their division, and got New Orleans nipping at their heels. Okay, the Jaguars, same kind of deal, number 4 in the conference, leading their division with Indy and Houston nipping at their heels. I mean, if you're looking at games to watch with a lot at stake, I mean, besides watching San Francisco and Baltimore, which is a tremendous game this week.
Important.
Christmas night, I believe.
I think so. I don't know.
The one of the big games of the weekend is going to be Jaguars-Tampa. I mean, not from a national standpoint, but from the meaning of the game and the impact that it has in the playoff race in each conference.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Ravens-Niners is Christmas night, the last game on Monday night. That's one of 3 games on Christmas Day.
That would stink playing on Christmas Day.
But boy, that's
what is this? What has become the NBA now? I thought the NBA only played on Christmas.
I think they have 6 games on Christmas Day in a row.
Their ratings are going to be
in a row, but
because the NFL's now on Christmas Day. Sorry, NBA, move over.
A little bit. They certainly have. So, especially since it's been on a weekend the last. Or around a weekend the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but not on a weekend. That's Monday.
Yeah. It's either way, the Jaguars trying to get back on track and do it on the road, and the offense trying to find their way around the quarterback thing this week. How different would it feel if Beathard is actually out there? We've asked this a couple times this year, right? With the knee injury going into Thursday night, and Trevor was a game-time decision at the Superdome, decided to play, was the leading rusher. Then, and Cleveland a couple weeks ago, high ankle sprain, and that felt better toward the end of the week, actually. And then he went out there. They did the kind of the game day thing, but he was going to play, and he played. And so this is different, though, because it's above the shoulders. So how different, though, would it be if Beathard is called upon to finally play?
Well, very different. Here's the one thing, though. I don't think anything changes or would change with the offense. Interesting. CJ had his press conference yesterday because, they typically have coach quarterback on a Wednesday, and since Trevor is unavailable, CJ ended up doing that. And he talked openly about how Trevor and him like a lot of the same things, which means to me that you're not going to have to change the offense for a CJ Beathard. You're going to run it as you would normally run it. And that's exactly what you want in a backup. You don't want to have a backup that has a wildly different style or way of playing that position, because you don't want to change the whole offense if need be. I mean, you don't have time to do that if all of a sudden you have an injury during a game. So CJ and Trevor are kind of in aligned as what they like to do, and what they can do. So that's a positive from that standpoint. The question mark that I have is that, where's the team's mindset? If all of a sudden now this week, okay, CJ's taking all the reps, and all of a sudden Trevor all of a sudden can play, what does that do to the football team? We saw that kind of happen at Cleveland, and team didn't exactly come out on fire. They didn't rally around Trevor in that game. If he plays in this game, okay, and that's a big if he plays in this game, that offensive line had better have one hell of a game. I'm just telling you, because if your quarterback was in a concussion protocol, you better block your rear end off. And you better find a way to take pressure off of him from having to be the man, because right now this offense is very Trevor-centric. And there really is not anything taking pressure off of him in this offense right now because of the offense's inability to run the football effectively for a number of weeks now.
Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. And Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home? Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zipchair, furniture for fans. We're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. And to that offensive line, you know, it's been on the left side, especially as of late, a little bit of a revolving door. Some guys coming and going out of the lineup and, you know, moving ahead now. The status of that left side, how'd they come out of last week's game?
I think they came out okay. I give gold stars to Walker Little and Ezra Cleveland. Yeah, gold stars. Yeah, gold stars.
Good for them.
Because they gutted it out. I mean, clearly, when you watch the film, you can see many times, because, you know, when you watch a game live, your eyes are following the ball. So you're not watching a lot of other parts of the game. When you go back and you watch it on the film and you sit there and you review it and you watch a lot of the players and individual performances, then you get to see where Walker Little clearly was not 100%. Ezra was clearly not 100%, to where they were at times limping to get to the huddle for the next play. So give them credit. They toughed it out. They fought through it, and to try to help this team get a win. They didn't get the win, but these guys gutted it out. So I think this week they'll be a little bit better, and then next week you possibly get Cam Robinson back, right? So now
if the window opens, I think it can.
If it happens. So there's a possibility there of getting a little bit more healthy, but give them credit, and then I think they'll be better this week. But this week presents its own set of challenges. And you hope that Ezra's better this week, and you hope that you get a better performance out of your center, Fortner, because Vita Vea for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a big dude. 350 pounds of man, and he's arguably the best nose tackle in football. Seriously, he's arguably the best nose tackle in football.
I mean, he's only 6'4", 347 logs.
The only thing that if there's one saving grace about Vita Vea, his stamina is not of the nature that he plays every down.
He's not playing 100% of the defensive snaps, is what you're saying?
No, at 350 pounds, every now and again, he's got to come off and get some oxygen and get some water, so he doesn't play 100% of the downs. If he did, oh my gosh, and if he had the stamina, he'd be a train wreck. But fortunately, he doesn't play every game. But you got to block that guy first and foremost.
Where's he line up? Interior?
Yeah, he's an interior guy.
Who's he lining up over?
Yeah, he's guards and center.
Okay,
that's where he's going to be at.
Okay,
and he's incredibly strong. When he decides to throw people, he's a man among boys.
That's Travis Etienne Jr. What stood out about the Bucs defense, especially in the front seven? That's the first thing you said. Vita Vea. I mean,
he's big.
Stands out in a big way.
He's big. Now, they're not great on, because they run kind of a 3-4 system. The ends are not great. One of them's a first-round pick, Kalijah Kancey from Pittsburgh. I think they tried to capture a little bit of Aaron Donald lightning in a bottle. Okay, and he's okay. He's a solid player, but he's young. And the rest of the guys are kind of just guys a little bit, The outside linebackers are pretty good. Shaq Barrett's been a good player for a while. He's not having a great year, but he's had great years in the past, and he can have a great game at any minute. And then they've got a former first-round pick from 2021 and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and Yaya Diaby. Did I say that right, Yaya Diaby? I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Their third-round pick out of Louisville has been playing quite a bit. But
Diaby,
yeah. I mean, they're okay up front. I mean, outside of Vita Vea. The one other position that they're extremely talented is safety, Antoine Winfield. He's arguably one of the top 3 or 4 safeties in the National Football League. He can do a lot of different things. Let me give you his stat line, which is pretty amazing. I don't know the number of tackles. You can probably pull that up. But as a safety, he has 3 fumble recoveries, 5 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 4 sacks. As a safety, I mean, that's incredible numbers. So he's a challenging guy, and whoever's playing quarterback better know where number 31 is.
Antoine Winfield with 107 total tackles.
Where's he at on the team ranking?
Leads the team.
Leads the team. That's what I figured.
He's everywhere.
He's a stud.
He's everywhere.
So, two studs, and then you've got the veteran guy at linebacker who, and when I say veteran guy, Levante David, 12 years in the National Football League. If you look at his stats, I know I was looking at the Tampa Bay press release, his stats are comparable to those that are in the Hall of Fame. His numbers are incredible. And he's been a high-level player for a long time. He's an excellent player as far as making tackle for losses. So there's a great player at all three levels. Levante David's not what he was, but he's still pretty close to it.
Plenty ahead. We've got to get into this Jaguars defense and the matchup against the Buccaneers offense. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, possible Hall of Famer, wide receiver.
Shoot, on roller skates.
Oh, okay. We'll get to him coming up in a moment. We're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube coming up at 4:30. Kai Stevens in studio with us. Then at 5 o'clock, the Doug Pederson Show. We'll have the head coach in studio ahead of Week 16. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving.
Have you noticed? It's raining a lot in our area lately. That means you can give your sprinklers a break and save some money in the process. Lawns only need water up to twice a week, and that can come from rain. So before you run your sprinklers, remember to watch the weather and wait to water. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Hey, Jags fans, are you tired of roof leaks raining on your parade? Don't worry, Universal Roof and Contracting has got you covered. Their expert team of roofers will get your roof back in the game so you can focus on cheering on the Jags. Locally owned and operated, they've serviced Florida homeowners for over 30 years. Visit universalroof.com to schedule your free estimate today. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CVC 1258484.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguar sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguar sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguar sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hey Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a ZipChair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans. You expect Jags fans to say, Duval. You expect the Beard Stadium's going to be cold, the dogs will be hot, but what you don't expect is an airport hotel with a renovated, inviting lobby, a cool bar, and crowded restaurant, or 10,000 square feet of space just waiting for your next family or business event. At the Crowne Plaza Jacksonville Airport, you should always expect to be surprised. Book online or call 1-877-2-CROWN. That's 1-877-227-6963.
He's gotten better as the season's gone on. Some of his, statistical numbers, he's getting the ball out of his hand extremely fast. It does slow down pass rush when you can do that, especially in the third and short, medium range, and he's trusting his guys, down the field, and they're making plays for him. So, and he's not turning the ball over, So all those things are in his favor, and they're helping, and he's playing good.
That's the head coach, of course, Doug Pederson on Wednesday, and discussing Baker Mayfield, quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District, Florida's water. It's worth saving. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. Week 16, Jaguars Buccaneers, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, down on Dale Mabry, and it'll be a 4:05 kick. We'll be on the air in Jacksonville with the Publix Tailgate Show at 1 o'clock. And then 3 o'clock, countdown to kickoff on the Jaguars radio network ahead of this battle of first-place teams in the AFC and NFC South divisions. And Baker Mayfield, as you referenced earlier, Logs, a great performance last time. Well, so great it was perfect. A perfect passer rating. And only the third time in the NFL this year that a quarterback has posted a perfect passer rating in a game. And Baker's the latest to do that. And you know, he's been around for a minute now, 2018 first overall pick.
Well, and he had one heck of a year in 2018 as a rookie, and I remember kind of when he got on the scene in the NFL, everybody's like, wow. I mean, because he had a really impressive rookie year. Threw a little bit too many interceptions that year, but then the next year was kind of okay. And then 2020, he had a heck of a year, led the Cleveland Browns to double-digit wins, was arguably his best year as a pro until this year, and this year he's doing a pretty good job. And he's got two excellent wide receivers to throw the ball to.
I'd say.
We were talking earlier before we came on the show, and we were like, all right, what's the best tandems in the National Football League as far as receivers go? You know, and the first one that came to your mind was Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, Miami.
Which I think those two guys are the best, hands down. And then up in Philadelphia, you have the Slim Reaper and A.J. Brown, two pretty good receivers.
I'd take those guys, sure.
But these two guys, and Mike Evans and Godwin, are really good. This past game, Godwin had over 100 yards receiving, 155 to be exact, on 10 catches. Mike Evans had 4 for 57 and a touchdown. And Evans is, I said before the break, going into the Hall of Fame on roller skates. I mean, this guy's had 10 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. The next closest guy to have the highest number is, I think, Randy Moss with 6 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, which is unbelievable.
It is.
I mean, so every year in the league, he's had a 1,000-yard season.
So think about this. He's got to double that to reach Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice had 22,800 yards, and Mike Evans has 11,000 and change.
Which is amazing.
And
how many years total did Jerry play?
Oh, forever. I mean, 85 to 04, 20 years.
How many consecutive 1,000-yard seasons did he have?
Let's look that
We got to
up.
pull that
I
up.
got it right here.
You got
Stand
it?
by. We're looking, we're digging.
Because I don't think he didn't have 10.
2, 3, 4, 5,
he had
6,
the knee
7,
injury.
8, 9, 10, 11 at one point, but not
In
to
a-
start
not in
his
a row.
career. He had
Right.
11 in a row,
Right.
but his rookie year he had just under, like 70
Exactly.
yards early. Then he had 11 straight. Then he had the knee injury, 97. Then he had 3 more after that.
Which is amazing.
14 total in his career.
And how many years total did he play?
20 seasons.
So 20 seasons, and 13 of them were 1,000-yard receiving.
16, 4, yeah.
Tremendous.
Wow.
And how many touchdowns did Jerry have after 10 years? Just out of curiosity. I know you got to add it up. Because Mike Evans right now has 92 touchdowns receiving. Okay, and he's in a tie right now at 12th place. And so if he gets one more receiving touchdown, he's going to end up with sole possession of 12th place all time in receiving touchdowns, which is, I mean, this guy's not even done yet. I mean, I don't see him slowing down for another 4 or 5 years because he's still got the gifts. I mean, he's a big wide receiver, a big target, got great range. He's got good speed. He's not have phenomenal speed, but he's got good speed for a big man.
So Jerry Rice had 197 career touchdowns, right, in 20 years, and 66 of those came after year 10, year 11 or later in his career. 66.
So what did he have in years 1 through 10?
So 197 minus 66.
Okay, so he had
130 something.
He had a bunch.
Yeah, pretty good.
He's stud. Greatest receiver of all time.
But, I mean, we're not comparing these two. Just the numbers are interesting to look at. Jerry's the greatest of all time. But Mike Evans, in a 10-year span, is putting up
fantastic.
Something we really haven't seen.
And how many
in a
different
while.
quarterbacks? I mean, think about it. Now, Jerry Rice had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks thrown on the ball.
Yeah.
What has Mike Evans had in his career thrown on the ball?
He's had Jameis Winston. He's had he had Tom Brady for
2
a
years.
couple years.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been rotating
2 or
through
3
guys.
years. What was it, 2 years? He was in Tampa. Yeah, 2 years.
Just rotating through guys.
But who was before that? I mean, it's like, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't have a whole lot of great quarterback play. I mean, because obviously, Tampa was struggling to try to figure out who was going to play quarterback for many years. So, I mean, that has a lot to do with it. But he's a tremendous player. And, look, the Jaguars are a little beat up in secondary. You know, they're, quote, getting healthier because there's maybe going to be some guys coming back. It looks like Tyson Campbell could play. Cisco could play. But the last time we saw Tyson Campbell, he didn't play all that well.
I'll buy you a bottle of water if you can name the first regular starting quarterback for Mike Evans in the NFL with Tampa Bay, 2014.
2014, his first regular starting quarterback.
The quarterback who started the most games that year for the Bucs. 2014.
I have no idea.
Josh McCown started 11 games that year. He was a 1-10 starter that season. Mike Glennon started the other 5 games for Tampa that year.
Who else did he have playing quarterback for him? Is there a list by chance?
I got to go year to year.
It would be amazing to see exactly how many different quarterbacks it took him to get to where he's at. I mean, the list would be very long, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, we only have an hour.
So. Exactly.
I mean, we need more time for that.
Might take a little while to figure that out. But I mean,
the next year, 2015, Jameis came in, so that was the next 4 years at least, 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years ish.
Yeah,
you know,
and then you're getting close to Tom Brady time. So,
we had 10 years
15,
now.
16, 17.
I mean, if you got 1 year with McCown, 14, and then 4.
And Jameis was the next
Jameis,
few years.
You got another. Probably 3 years to figure out.
Yeah.
You know, I have no idea. I can't even remember who was the quarterback in
Jameis
Tampa.
was through 19.
Okay.
And then 20 was when Tom Brady came in because they won the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Well.
Yeah, Tom Brady in 2020.
All right.
So there you go. Well. So you got to cover that this week.
He's good.
How do you cover him?
I mean, I think
do you double him? Do you put your best guy on him?
Here's the hard part. Is that do you double him? Because if you double him, then that means you're not going to be able to have as much attention on Godwin. And if you look at the numbers, Godwin is right up there with receptions as the big man is. So what do you do? I mean, I think it's going to be – look, Darius Williams has to play really well. Tyson Campbell, do you help him just because he hasn't played? You know, put a safety over the top with him? That's not the way you've played with him in the past, but are you thinking about that now? Just because the last time you saw him, he didn't play great. He was hampered a little bit because he had a hamstring, and then now recently a quad. Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. And how do you play the Bucs? I mean, because you can't get overly aggressive. Because if you get aggressive, then all of a sudden you're depleting your coverage to get aggressive after Baker Mayfield. But then you can get to him, you know, because Baker Mayfield will hold the ball. But I think the interesting thing to me, and one of the tough matchups, is Josh Allen versus Wirfs, their left tackle. Okay, because right now Josh has been the main source of pressure. And Trayvon had a solid game this past week. But this game, because I think Wirfs and Josh Allen is kind of like two great players that are going to negate each other. I think you'll end up having maybe a couple wins by Josh. But I think Wirfs is going to be able to do well against Josh. And I hope Josh can end up beating him a few times because to have a great game as a pass rusher, all you need is 1 or 2, right? 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be every play. But somebody else is.
You sound like a tackle right now, a left tackle.
Somebody else has got to step up.
So they always say, yeah, you can play good for 68 plays, but the 69th and 70th, you give up a sack, it's a bad game.
That's right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Right. Josh got to find a way to find 2 plays.
Yeah. Find
2 plays against Wirfs. You know, Wirfs was at right tackle for the longest time, and I think it was Donovan Smith, who's now in Kansas City, was the left tackle. Mm-hmm. Wirfs, who was a first-round pick out of Iowa, I believe, moved over to the left side this year. This is his first year at left tackle, but that was his natural position. He's an excellent football player, and he's a big man. Big man that's got really good feet. They list him at 6'5", 320. I would venture to guess he's more than 320. I think that's one of those, that's where we would like to have him at, but he's a little bit bigger than that.
He's wherever he wants to be.
You always see that, though, with the height weight listings where the team posts a certain number. And a lot of times that's the number the optimum number. we'd like him to be 320. But he's walking around. He just ate 5 biscuits and, and he weighs 340.
Or, I love the story. I think Daniel Jeremiah tells the story. NFL Network, obviously, analyst, and was a scout before that, worked his way up in that side of the business. And he used to work for the Ravens, right? So he was the guy, Daniel Jeremiah, who would have to record weights on the sheet every day in the locker room. Ray Lewis would come in, and Ray would say, I'm 250 whatever.
And without getting on the scale.
Of course not.
Of course.
And, of course, Daniel will just write it right down. There it is. Because you're going to question Ray Lewis?
No.
I don't think so.
I'm not.
No. I don't think many people in that locker room would either.
No,
So-
we literally, we had people throughout my career to where that was their job. They literally would make everybody go to the scale at certain times, like weekly weigh-ins. They had weekly weigh-ins because there was a lot of bonus money that rided on what the number said at the scale.
Yeah, sure.
And some guys lost money. Okay, lost a lot of money because they couldn't push back from the table. Okay, some of them like to eat a little bit too much. And then in training camp, they would monitor your weight just from a health and wellness standpoint.
Yeah.
Because you had grueling training camps, much more so than what they are today, and they were always worried about the players getting dehydrated and getting dangerously low as far as their weight goes, because all of a sudden if you had a guy that lost 6 pounds in one practice, and then the next practice he weighs in after that practice, and all of a sudden now he's down 5 from the previous weigh-in, but he only, he didn't get it all back on. Now you're talking about a health risk. So a lot of times they would have that required person that would monitor the weights in training camp and then also for the weekly weigh-ins.
Plenty ahead. Kai Stevens joins us in studio, Jaguars reporter, when we return. And then at 5 o'clock, the Doug Pederson Show. We'll hear from the Jags head coach in studio with us ahead of Week 16. The Jaguars and the Buccaneers coming up. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving.
Have you noticed? It's raining a lot in our area lately. That means you can give your sprinklers a break and save some money in the process. Lawns only need water up to twice a week, and that can come from rain. So before you run your sprinklers, remember to watch the weather and wait to water. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Jaguars fans, huddle up for the best defense against expensive car repairs, CarShield. Score big with the nation's #1 automotive protection company, CarShield. They offer affordable plans that cover over 6,000 parts and systems in your car, truck, or SUV. Don't miss any Jaguars action this season with a car breakdown. Call the MVPs at CarShield for their best coverage ever. Call 800-471-1223. 800-471-1223. Go Jags!
Unlock your potential at the University of North Florida. A top public university with more than 100 majors, UNF is #1 among state schools with the highest percentage of graduates employed in Florida. Affordable tuition, programs in high-demand fields, and faculty who care. Swoop into your future at UNF. Visit unf.edu to learn more.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading organizations across the country to deliver workforce solutions. As a proud sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI crafts personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has over 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
A lot of practice at it, I think, whether it's here or where I used to be. I think the mindset as being my 7th year in the league, it's just got a lot of experience. Even in games where the starter isn't banged up or whatever, just preparing like you might have to go into the game. That's just kind of what you have to do. So at this point, it's really just a mindset, and I feel like this year I've actually gotten to practice a lot more than years past as far as with the starters, when Trev has missed a couple practices here or there, and it's only benefited me and helped me in the long run of just getting rest with certain guys and that kind of stuff.
CJ Beathard, Jaguars backup quarterback, at the podium earlier this week. We'll see if he has to go out there on Sunday in Tampa. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. Brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. We're at the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. And Kai Stevens is with us in studio now. Good afternoon, Kai.
Hello, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Hey, it's always good to see you as well. Thanks for swinging in today. And that's the backup quarterback.
It is.
The next trick is what's next with the starting quarterback who's in concussion protocol, and he wasn't out there again today. So let's see. Tomorrow's a big day, I think, to see if he's going to be ready to roll or not.
When he clears the protocol, he will play. I think even if that's, Friday, Saturday, they'll play him if he's available. But this one feels a little bit different. Like when you talk to them in the locker room, it's a different vibe. It's very compared to like when he hurt his knee or his ankle, right? I think everybody's like, oh, Trevor will play, but this one's not up to him. So I think the preparation is very much centered around CJ, and I think that helps to actually be fully focused on what his skill set is and kind of run the offense that way. And if Trevor can play, obviously that's great, but mostly just because they need the win. So whatever they need to do.
Yeah, and you got to make sure long-term Trevor's fine, too. I mean, you can't you're not going to really beat the test. If he's not ready, he's not ready. And
back in the old days, give him a smelling salt. Let's go.
Yeah, this ain't the old
Which
days.
is not smart.
No.
I mean, look, I'm not sitting there saying that that's the way it should be.
Right.
But, I mean, it was a little bit ridiculous back in the old days. But here's the reality, though. Even today, there's a lot of players that don't report.
Which is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate,
because they
incredibly.
want to play too, yeah.
Because, I mean, here's the other part of this. Availability means dollars in your pocket. And if all of a sudden you're a player that has concussion issues or injury issues or availability issues, your value goes down. And so the self-reporting is a big factor in this whole concussion protocol management system that the NFL has instituted. And for a while there, the players weren't reporting it. But I think it's become a little bit more acceptable and okay to self-report.
Right. It's a good thing. I could see, too, I mean, some guys have incentives in their contracts and certain numbers to hit, and if it's this time of year or something, then you might, I got to get this number to get this thing. But, who knows?
Here and the facts is that Trevor is the quarterback of this franchise for the next decade plus. Okay, as long as, he keeps trending in that direction, he stays healthy, God willing, everything else, okay? So you can't be short-sighted and say, well, look, we're barely hanging on to this division lead. We need this game. We need Trevor. We got to play him. Well, wait a minute. Let's slow down here. Let's look at the big picture. The big picture is that you want Trevor for the next decade and a half, So We got to make sure you make the right decision here for him and for the franchise.
Ty Stevens in studio with us. Well, the next question is, whoever the quarterback is, who are they throwing to this week? A couple guys down this week at receiver.
They are. Zay Jones not practicing. Probably won't play either. Obviously, Christian Kirk's been out. I think I talked a little bit about this on Jags AM this morning. I think sometimes when someone's out and you need to step up, it's easy if Trevor's still around, right? Because you're like, oh, he'll figure it out, like sort of thing. But when you really are down your quarterback, and then I feel there's a little more of a sense of urgency, like maybe with Calvin or Evan Ingram, to kind of be like, okay, we really have to like step up in this sense, because Trevor can't just go crazy and save the day, which is, what he's tried to do sometimes, for better or worse. But I think it's easy when you have a superstar on your team to be like, oh, we'll still be fine because we still have Trevor. But now that you don't have Trevor, it's like, oh, we really do have to step up. So maybe they'll take it a little differently than maybe they have before. And hopefully, obviously, I know CJ Beathard was talking about working with Calvin and kind of getting that timing down. So hopefully that is a benefit.
Here's a little bit of a positive. CJ Beathard, who's he been taking reps with? Parker Washington.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Elijah Cooks, Tim Jones.
Yeah.
So, if he plays, he's got probably
He knows how they work.
more of a rapport with some of those guys than maybe Trevor's been able to build.
And Evan's been such a, sure-handed person for this team. So imagine he's helpful to whoever's out there.
No doubt.
Well, and you bring up Evan. Well, Brenton Strange looks like he's going to be back this week.
Yeah,
okay?
Limited both days this week, so that's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
With a
Trending
foot
in the right direction.
Correct.
Watched him in the limited period of practice that we were able to watch today. He looked good. So now all of a sudden you put him back into the mix. Does that free you up to have Evan do some other things that maybe you haven't been able to do with Strange not out on the field? Maybe. So that also could be a positive for this week.
If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, Kai Stevens. Jaguars defense this week, Kai, against Baker Mayfield. Perfect passer rating last week. They've got a couple wide receivers. They've got some confidence. They've won 3 in a row. They're in first place, tied for it in the NFC South, and this is a little tougher, I think, than you might have bargained for when you saw the calendar and the schedule come out.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the easy section of the schedule, right? And it's becoming very much the opposite. They're trending the opposite way, yeah. They won their last 3 games. Baker Mayfield having the game of his life at Lambeau. But we talked a little bit about he still got sacked 5 times. So if the pass rush can get to him, obviously Josh Allen is going to play like a man on fire, as he always does. If he can get to him a little bit, cause some chaos there and get some turnovers, which is what this defense relies on, give some short field to this offense, hopefully get them a little bit closer, get them some points. I think that's going to be really important. And, not to discount the Bucs, of course, but they're not going up against the Ravens again. Like, this is the Bucs. They can do this. It will be not as easy as it could be if Trevor was playing, but they can certainly get it done.
Well, the great thing from last week going to this week is that Baker Mayfield's not going to do what Lamar Jackson
right.
No.
Is that
not to that level.
What a display.
And they played him well. Like, it wasn't even like he went crazy. Like, the defense played pretty well, and he still looked amazing.
Got 97 yards on the ground somehow.
And it's just effortless.
Yeah.
He's so good.
The one play that I think is a perfect example of what Lamar Jackson can do is when Smoot misses him. I thought he had him. Oh. And then all of a sudden he spins around and creates more time and then throws the ball just before Smoot comes back and hits him, and then has his tight end high point it and then makes a catch, what was it, inside the 10 or around the 10 or whatever it was.
Against 2 guys.
It's like Lamar Jackson. And he just makes it look effortless. It literally, when I was joking around with Doug last week saying, did you do the chicken drills, from the movie Rocky? That's what it's like. How do you catch that guy? When you got 300-pounders chasing him, It doesn't work very well sometimes.
And Baker's got a little of that.
He
right?
doesn't have
Not
that
level.
No,
though. He can
it's
move
like
around.
Totally different category.
He can move around, but then you get to him, and that's why he gets sacked 5 times.
He can buy some time, but
Right.
not
a statue.
He can't
He's
do
not
Lamar.
elusive.
Right.
Lamar is like, you can be there, and he can like.
And he's just.
slide
I
out
thought
somehow.
I thought when Michael Vick left the game, I said to myself, because Randall Cunningham was like the first mobile guy that I remember. There was other mobile guys, but Randall was the one who really in my era. And then all of a sudden Michael Vick came along, and I said there will never be another Michael Vick. I just thought there's no way. This guy's just so special. Lamar's made Michael Vick look like just the beginnings of old school football.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar's that special. Crazy.
Big ball game this Sunday, Christmas Eve. Tampa, the Jaguars and the Buccaneers, battle of first-place teams. Both teams tied for the lead in their respective divisions. The Jaguars have the tiebreakers in the AFC South. Tonight, it's Jaguars All Access Television, Strings Sports Brewery, Springfield. Who you got, Kai?
That's the one. Jamal Agnew is going to be with us. He's back on the field, so he's going to come join us today.
Jamal will be fantastic.
He had a great
always
game.
is.
He had a great game.
Yeah,
he had a big punt return, had a big kick return, the explosive play where, by the way, the Ravens had a communication issue, right, on that defensive play, and Jamal was able to expose that. So he had an outstanding return to play. And will his role evolve into a little bit more this week? I think that's an interesting question.
It
Could
really
it?
is. It could.
With the injury.
I mean,
to
they need
Zay.
bodies at this point, so yes, I would hope so.
I hope he makes as big of plays or bigger, because especially on special teams. I mean, if your offense has a new quarterback, or if your offense has a Trevor Lawrence that hasn't been able to work all week, however it turns out, you need a little jump start. And the return of Jamal could help that in a big way. I hope.
So go check it out tonight. Strings Sports Brewery, Springfield, and 7:00 start, right?
Yes.
I ask you that every week.
It is always at 7.
Changed any of the weeks.
We haven't done it not at 7 unless we were in London. I think we did maybe 7 in London and different time here. That's the only time it changed.
7:00. Fox 30, Strings, Springfield, Jamal Agnew, and the whole crew.
Yeah, and they've got really good wings there.
Oh, the wings. You like the white sauce?
Dude, the Alabama white sauce.
Yes, right. We've talked about this before
Yes,
as well.
we have.
Money.
Jeff gives away the recipe every time, though.
And they
The
have
brisket cheese fries.
The brisket
are good, too.
cheesesteak.
Ooh.
Is another highly recommended item, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
And their sweet tea's nice. Really nice.
Their beer's pretty nice, too.
What's
Their
that?
beer,
I would
there's a
never.
brewery,
I wouldn't know. JP.
Well, you guys
I
are
gotta
working.
do a
I'm not
TV
working.
show. I got to do a TV
Yeah, I know.
show.
I don't sometimes. I'll go in there. Kai, thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.
Have a great show. This is what she gets to deal with tonight. That's Kai Stevens, Jaguars reporter, with us. Back in a moment. The injury report is out. We'll get to that. And then at 5 o'clock, the Doug Pederson Show, the head coach in studio with us. This is Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water. It's worth saving.
Have you noticed? It's raining a lot in our area lately. That means you can give your sprinklers a break and save some money in the process. Lawns only need water up to twice a week, and that can come from rain. So before you run your sprinklers, remember to watch the weather and wait to water. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com. Don't get sacked by a no-name propane rookie this football season, Jacksonville. Draft an all-star and switch to AmeriGas, the official propane provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the homes and businesses who know it was always the Jags. Show off your Duval pride at your next tailgate with a Jaguars grill tank from AmeriGas. To find an AmeriGas exchange location near you or to order a propane fill-up for your home or business, visit AmeriGas.com/Jacksonville-Jaguars or call 844-PRO-JAGS.
If you're facing cancer, you want a dedicated team working for you. At Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, we only focus on cancer. And we partner with one of the largest cancer centers in the world. So you'll have a specialized treatment plan created by our experienced and highly trained oncologists and surgeons, collaborating with one of the country's leading cancer centers. Best of all, we're in North Florida with locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Appointments at baptistmdanderson.com.
Hey Florida, this is Luke Fortner, center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all know the rush of a good game, but there's no winning with aggressive driving on our roads. It's all about strategy and control. Embrace the space with the driver in front of you, go the speed limit, and use that blinker. These are the moves that make us all champions of the road. Target Zero is our game plan for safer roads and is a testament to our teamwork and dedication. Join me and let's get everyone home safely every single day.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lagerman, glad you're with us on 1010XL 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. Time for the injury report presented by the Baptist Health and the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. That's not what it says. It's presented by Baptist Health and the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That sounds better. All right, let's get to it. C.J. Beathard full both days this week. He has a left shoulder injury. Remember the play he came in, first play after Trevor Lawrence in the Cleveland game, or what game was that?
Cincinnati game.
Cincinnati. Went down on his arm and left shoulder injury out of that, but he's been full both days. Christian Braswell, hamstring injury, limited both days. Tyson Campbell with a quadriceps injury, limited both days. We'll see if that trends better tomorrow for him. Andre Sisco coming off a groin issue, limited Wednesday and Thursday. Same thing. Let's check on tomorrow and his status for those two starters in the secondary. Ezra Cleveland listed with a knee issue, limited both days. Zay Jones has not practiced either day this week. That didn't sound too good from the head coach this week earlier. Trevor Lawrence has not practiced yet. Tomorrow is, I think, the really big day to see if he takes a step in the right direction to be able to play on Sunday. Then Walker Little with a hamstring injury, limited, and Brenton Strange, foot injury, limited both days.
Yeah, Strange having missed 3 games so far with the foot. So good to have him back. I think he will help the running game. You know, with ETN in the last 6 games, the numbers with Travis are not very good. I mean, look, last 6 games, he's averaged 3.3 yards per carry and about 42 yards a game. Not great.
No.
It's not going to get any easier this week.
It's true.
The Bucs a top 10 run defense. Their weakness, their kryptonite has been the passing game.
Teams throwing on them.
Yeah, I mean what are they ranking? 26th in the league in total defense. The second worst team in the National Football League in pass defense, 31st. They have one other really stat of note. Their red zone, they've been very strong. Top 5, ranked at number 4 in red zone percentage. So they're doing a good job there. This is a very aggressive defense, and this defense has been with them for 3-4 years now with Todd Bowles, being the former defensive coordinator under Bruce Arians. So the guys that they have in place that are in this system and that have been in the system for a couple years, they know it in and out. Okay, so but if you look at the numbers, they have one of the higher percentages of pressure packages that they bring, and a lot of people think of pressure as blitz. Pressure can be blitz, but pressure also can be, let's say you send a middle linebacker and a nickel on a blitz, and then you drop a defensive lineman,
like a zone.
It's a zone. Right. It's a depleted zone, but it's still a zone.
But you would drop 2 and bring the other 2?
No.
Okay, so 1 extra guy.
No, like a fire zone, which we used to call them a fire zone. A fire zone, we'd bring, maybe 1 guy, maybe 2 guys, and then drop 1, so you could just have a depleted zone. You could have a full zone or a depleted zone. It just depends. Now, a full-blown blitz means when they say blitz like man-to-man, okay, now you're bringing guys, everybody's coming, and you got somebody to cover every eligible wide receiver. And in most cases, you would have 1 safety back deep to help in case somebody got out to kind of prevent the touchdown play. And then you have what we call a true zero blitz play, which everybody's coming. There's no one person back deep. Everybody's on their own on an island. Good luck. That's aggressive. I mean, that's really aggressive. That's Rex Ryan stuff right there. Okay, Rex.
Well, he could get away with some of that because he had Revis.
What Rex used to do, which was so unique, when we start talking about fire zones, he would at times send 2 or sometimes 3 guys and then just leave a couple zones completely uncovered. He didn't care. Because he's like, look, if the quarterback can find it, congratulations, good job. But we want to make sure that we bring more than you can block.
Yeah.
And so the offensive line needs to be good from that standpoint because they're one of the top teams in the league at bringing pressure. And you don't want to have a backup quarterback dealing with pressure or a quarterback who just gets out of the concussion protocol dealing with pressure, whatever it turns out to be.
So sounds like and they all are, but this one maybe more than most is a critical big game in pass protection for this offensive line to step up and stand their ground.
That would be a all capital YES, yes.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But here's part of that. How about running the ball?
How about it, right? I mean, now the interior is going to be plugged up, it feels like, with Vita Vea.
Well, make a move. Make the big man move. Okay, this team doesn't run downhill between the tackles anyway. This is a offensive line moving kind of run game. So make the big man move, That's
run wide, tire him out. See,
well, and hopefully you can do a little bit of that. But what I mean by that is that it's hard to bring pressure as a defense if all of a sudden the defense is in 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, okay, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. Defenses love to bring pressure when they're in 2nd and 7 plus, 3rd and 5 or 6 plus. That makes it very easy to bring pressure. They are more confident calling pressure in those down and distances as opposed to the shorter distances. So run the ball effectively, take the pressure off of the third downs by having manageable distance.
Or the short passing game, which sometimes whatever's successful to get you 4 on first down.
Yeah, I mean, look, short, like little
all that screen
passes underneath to Evan Ingram, right. Okay, or a quick wide receiver screen to the exterior, and all of a sudden he turns up, gets a block, and gets 5 or 6. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially a controlled offense, a controlled passing attack that's very similar to the running game.
What do you want to hear from head coach Doug Pederson? We've got him in the studio in mere moments.
I'd like to know what the protocol is like just to deal with from a head coach's standpoint, because that's kind of the unknown. You know, coaches don't talk a lot about the protocol, but what's it like? I mean, as a coach, what's your mindset? You know, how do you handle that? You know, what do you do? You say, well, you know, we'll just find out when we find out. I mean, it's kind of, or do you have the ability to make plans in the concussion protocol? And then also want to talk about Todd Bowles' defense. You know, how you deal with that, how blocking the big man Vita Vea, how that's going to be, and then also staying positive. How do you stay positive with your team?
Yeah, positive, and the pressure cooker is on now, and, you know, there can be tightness that creeps in, not only in that locker room, but around the organization. So how do you handle that as a head coach?
That's why he's the head coach.
Yeah.
He's got the answer.
He's done it before.
A few times.
I think so. All right, that'll do it for Jaguars Happy Hour. Coming up next, it's the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network. The head coach in studio with us ahead of the Jaguars-Buccaneers matchup. It's Week 16 And this has been Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving.
Welcome to the Doug Pederson Show. Brought to you by Fresh from Florida. JP Shadrick and former Jaguar Jeff Lageman discuss the latest Jaguars news with the head coach. The Doug Pederson Show starts right now.
The Doug Pederson Show presented by Fresh from Florida from the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, and head coach Doug Pederson in studio with us. Week 16. Hey, it's playoff time now, right? Both of these teams, the Jaguars and the Buccaneers, tied for first in their respective divisions, and it's playoff football on Christmas week.
It is. It's playoff atmosphere, playoff football. You know, backs against the wall. You got to come out and play your best football, and you know it's one of the things that we haven't done in the last say 3 weeks. But you know, we've got some things to correct. Guys have been focused and still doing the right things, and looking forward to going over to Tampa and playing the game.
With the sky falling, how do you maintain that positivity?
Yeah, that's what it is, right? The sky is falling. I mean, the positivity is the fact that we're still in first place. We're still fourth in the AFC. And everything is still right in front of us. You know, our goal when we started the season was to win the AFC South, and that goal has never changed, and it hasn't changed. And so, you know, that's the positivity right there. And then at the same time, just continue to coach our players hard, continue to push them. And, you know, we are getting some guys healthy this time of year, which is good. So, you know, we need to be making our move at this time.
Coach, how do you keep a team, a building from being tight in this type of moment when there is pressure and everything going on to perform and play at a high level on all levels of the organization? How do you keep a team from tightening up this late?
I think, and I truly believe it starts with me. If I'm tight, then they're going to be tight. If I'm loose, they're going to be loose. And, you know, I believe that they'll feed off of that and kind of feed off of that energy. But at the same time, they got to understand that you know, there's accountability in this business, and we got to make sure that we hold each other accountable, myself included. And but at the same time, let's go out and have fun at practice. When it's time to work, it's time to work. Let's go enjoy these moments. You don't get many of these, and again, we're in the conversation at the end of the year, right, for postseason and all that, and that's what you want, and so that gives you a little juice and motivation here, you know, this last month.
Here we are Thursday afternoon. The big topic is the unknown, which is your quarterback in the concussion protocol. And I know that you're somewhat limited what you can say and can't say. What's that like, dealing with the concussion protocol for a starting quarterback?
Well, it's really not so much it's just any player that goes into the protocol. You know, when you're talking health, right? There's stages and steps that the player has to go through. Trey Herndon just went through it a couple weeks ago and came out good. But you got to follow a certain regiment and steps, and that you just don't rush him back to the practice field. So, you know, C.J. Beathard is obviously getting the bulk of the reps. He's done a great job, you know, in Trevor's absence this week, but yet Trevor's still a part of the meetings. He can do the meetings. He can be around the guys and just whatever he can tolerate. And so, you know, he's trending obviously in the right direction. But again, you go in just like we did a few weeks ago, you know, with C.J. getting prepared and possibly playing in this game.
Hypothetical here, let's say CJ has to play. What does CJ do best?
CJ does a nice job of organizing and let's call it managing the offense. He knows the system. He knows where to go with the football. He does a good job of utilizing everybody that at his disposal, right? It's not you know, focusing on Calvin, focusing on Evan, which we will use them, don't get me wrong, and we got to use them, but he does a nice job of getting the ball into the hands of the open guy. And manages the team that way. He's got an aggressive personality. He does have a big arm where he can push the ball down the field if need be, and he's a good leader. Guys really do gravitate to him. He's smart. He's calm in the pocket. He's calm in the huddle, calm around the football team, and that's what you want out of your backup.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us. This is a Buccaneers defense that has a lot of veteran players on it. I mean, guys that have been around in that system for a long time. So what is it about that group? What stands out about the defense this year in Tampa?
Well, I think you look at them, they do have, but they got a mixture of some youth in there too, right? They've drafted some young players, particularly up front, and they're all kind of, intermixed and intertwined in there, and they're playing pretty good, especially this time of year. Vita Vea is here's another big physical guy in the middle. I mean, Luke Fortner's going to have his hands full all day, and we do the best we can to help him, with some double teams and combos and things of that nature. Their secondary is a veteran group. They're getting some guys healthy as well and going to be back. And as you mentioned, they've been around Todd Bowles and his system now for a while, whether he's the head coach or the D coordinator. So they know this scheme really well. These two linebackers, it's really three guys that can fly. They're big and long on the edge, and so it's another challenge, offensively for our guys up front, our backs, our tight ends to compete against this group.
Thank goodness Vita Vea has to rotate. He doesn't play every down. But getting back to Todd Bowles, who you mentioned there, been there for quite some time as DC and then now the head coach. He runs an aggressive defense, doesn't he? Loves to blitz, zone dogs, man coverage blitzes. That's the challenge. Is that the challenging part of his defense?
It is. We haven't seen as many pressures lately that we're going to see Sunday. He's playing a lot more man coverage than he has in the past. But again, he's got a group that can do it. And I remember when he was with Bruce Arians in Arizona, and it was almost a blitz fest every snap. And he's kind of brought that mindset and that mentality, and he's staying aggressive that way. And he knows too that his offense is playing better and opportunistic defensively to create some takeaways, give the ball back to their offense. Baker's playing really well, taking care of the football. NFC Player of the Week, last week for his performance, and rightfully so. So, you're seeing that aggressive mindset out of Todd and this defense.
Vita Vea is the one guy that we mentioned standing out. He's 350 pounds, hard to miss.
Stands out.
Yeah. But Antoine Winfield in the back end might be one of the best safeties in the league. This is a guy that you guys probably, I'm sure, are going to say, hey, where's he at?
Exactly. This guy, he's a ball hawk. He's punching the ball out. He's creating takeaways. He's a good blitzer, good tackler. I mean, he's all over the field. He's going to play the post safety. He'll be a box safety. He'll be a half-field safety. And they're not afraid to use him, in this defensive scheme. So, yeah, you got to know where 31 is. When you have the football and he's coming to tackle you, you better take care of the football.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us. Baker Mayfield last week was the third quarterback to deliver a perfect passer rating in a game this season in the NFL. So where's Baker right now? When you have a guy like Evans on the outside and then Godwin underneath, that's a pretty good combination. Where are they offensively?
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. And Baker does a nice job of getting the ball to these guys. And their offensive coordinator, Canales, he's done a nice job of kind of orchestrating these guys getting open. And some of it's the play-action pass down the field. Evans is a big target, obviously, and can run. Godwin is the quick, underneath guy that put the ball in his hands. He can take it the distance. So, it's and Baker's always had an aggressive mindset, wherever he's been. And I've played and coached against him in the past, and big arm, powerful arm, can push it down the field. But at the same time, can also, make that one mistake, and hopefully our guys are prepared to maybe get an interception or at least a takeaway.
The core of their offense seems to run through Rashad White. Running back / throwing the ball. He's a heck of a football player. The focus has got to be on him, I would imagine, if you're a part of that defense, your defense.
100%, and we've always prided ourselves each week, in stopping the run and toward to minimize it, minimize or at least eliminate explosives. We got to get better in a couple of those areas there. And again, when he's rolling for a quarterback, when your run game and screen game and some of that stuff is going, it just helps you as a quarterback. And Baker obviously is using these guys, to his advantage. And he's another one you got to account for.
Are you getting healthier on defense? You've been a few games without a number of guys. Cisco, Tyson Campbell, chance to get them back maybe this week.
We are. Good time to start getting some guys back. Tyson and Cisco have practiced this week and have done a nice job. We're going to continue to push them, these next few days leading up to this football game. And the biggest thing really, I think, Cisco's played recently, obviously. Tyson's been the one that's missed some time. So just getting him back out there and kind of getting his sea legs back under him a little bit will take a little bit of time, but it'll be good to get number 32 back on the field.
All right, Coach, final thought here. I'm asking Travis Etienne Jr. in the locker room yesterday just about the big picture and playing better down the stretch. And he said, basically, we just don't need to talk about it anymore. We got to be about it as a team. The playoff football's here now. Big game on the road this week, home next week, and then finish in Tennessee. 3 games in a row, haven't been able to finish the job in a game. And the guys in the locker room feel that. But at some point, you got to go be about it. I thought that was a good comment.
It's a great comment, and I'm glad the guys are seeing it that way, and really feel it and understand it, because that's where we, that's where we need to be as a team. And again, it's not about putting pressure on yourselves or panicking or nothing like that. It's about going out and just doing your job and being about it, right? And taking care of the football, stopping the run on defense, creating some takeaways on defense, scoring touchdowns in the red zone. All those types of things, those are things that in our control, and we just got to get back to doing that.
Playing clean football.
Exact, clean, complimentary football.
Coach, thanks for the time as always. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Plenty more ahead. This is the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network. Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
If you're facing cancer, you want a dedicated team working for you. At Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, we only focus on cancer. And we partner with one of the largest cancer centers in the world. So you'll have a specialized treatment plan created by our experienced and highly trained oncologists and surgeons, collaborating with one of the country's leading cancer centers. Best of all, we're in North Florida, with locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Appointments at baptistmdanderson.com.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner and guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
Welcome back. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman in the Hyundai Studios of the Miller Electric Center. The Doug Pederson Show, presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. Our thanks to head coach Doug Pederson joining us in the opening segment each and every week. And a big week this week, the Jaguars and the Buccaneers. And interesting thoughts from the head coach on, trying to avoid tightness in a locker room, in a building this time of year when things aren't going so well. 3 weeks in a row, the division race is as tight as it can be, and What was his answer? It said basically, if I'm calm, they'll be calm. And that's how Doug kind of rolls.
Well, and he's dead on the money, and the coach is the one that gives the marching orders, that gives the vibe to the team. And if you had asked, I think most fans or Doug said, hey, look, how would you like to be at the latter part of this season, first place in your division, with the division completely in your control with 3 games to go? Would you take that? Yeah, I think a lot of people would. I mean, but, when you lose 3 games, there's a tendency to think that things are bad and they're not going to get better. But hopefully this team, and I believe that they will get better this week with whatever quarterback that they can play with. And I think CJ is more than capable. And this Tampa Bay football team has been on a roll, but they haven't really beat a top team. I mean, if you look at who they've been beating, Atlanta, Carolina, and Green Bay on a 3-game winning streak. Where's the superpower in that 3?
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay was playing better. But they're not like top of the NFC or anything. Right, sure.
No, you go back and you look at who they San Francisco, they lost. Indianapolis, okay, Gardner Minshew, they lost. They beat Tennessee, which no surprise with Tennessee, lost to the Texans, lost to the Bills, lost to the Atlanta Falcons, because they play them obviously twice in their division. And, so Detroit Lions, they lost to them. They beat the Saints. They lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they haven't beat some high-quality teams, so I think the Jaguars are going to win this one. I'm not trying to lock it, double lock it, or triple lock it. I'm not going to pull a J.P. Shadrick, but I believe that they will win this game.
Yeah, I'm out of the lock business.
As you should be.
Yeah, I deserve to be.
Yeah.
I'm not either way. I'm
That's
not
okay.
locking nothing. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, it's fine. Be out of that business.
I'm so far out of that business.
By the way, did you go into my closet and steal my shirt this morning? Because I have 2 of them. What is the deal?
No, mine's smaller than yours.
No, it's not.
we are wearing the same shirt. I didn't realize that. How about that?
I just figured that out. I mean, seriously, did you go take the other shirt that I had in my closet?
I have no idea where you live.
Oh.
Like, why would I do that? I have no idea. But it's great minds think alike.
I guess, yeah. That's a nice shirt.
Thanks a lot.
Looks
yours is
looks
nice
good
too.
on you.
It looks right. Hey, so obviously quarterback's number 1 priority this week.
Yeah.
Concussion protocol, and the head coach, just can't really, divulge a bunch of the detail about that. But tomorrow's a big day. I mean, if Trevor's out there in any capacity, that's a good sign, right?
Well, I mean, yes, but it still makes me nervous. Look, I feel confident that this team can win regardless of who is playing quarterback. Because I think whether it's CJ or Trevor, that they will play well against Tampa. But it just makes me nervous that let's say Trevor is cleared and he's going to play. He won't have had a lot of practice this week. And then will we not, every time he gets hit, be worried about him?
Well, yeah.
And the long term?
I think I do that anyway, but yeah.
Right, but I mean, I think that you would be more worried about it this week, I think, than at any other time.
Yep.
So yeah, it's going to be a little nerve-wracking to find out exactly what's going to happen. But, again, if CJ plays, I've got confidence in him. If Trevor plays, I have confidence in him, but I'm going to be nervous. And I want him to protect the ball.
Yeah.
Look, this football team this past game did not do some simple things that they need to do. Protect the ball, eliminate penalties. They didn't check the boxes in those 2 categories. Make some field goals. They missed in that category. And at the end of the half, the mismanagement of that situation was costly to where they got 0 points with a first down situation at the 5-yard line. You got to get points in that situation. Can't throw a completion inbounds and get tackled when you don't have a timeout. And however you want to say it, they have clocked it. Should they have thrown to a different person? Both, okay, however you look at it. But they've got to get points out of that. And I think that in this game against Tampa, and with the way you're playing, points are at a premium. You've got to make sure that you're not hurting yourself in this ball game against Tampa Bay.
We're back in a moment. We'll figure out a plan to defend Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans for this Tampa Bay offense.
It's not an easy plan to put together.
You've got just a few minutes to figure it out.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
A little later, about 15 minutes or so, we'll hear from Calvin Ridley in the locker room yesterday during his media availability time and see what he has to say going into Week 16. Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home? Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zipchair, furniture for fans. This is the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
Eat like a Jag, the Fresh from Florida way. Hi everyone, I'm Chef Justin. Head over to freshfromflorida.com and sign up for our loyalty club to unlock interactive perks available only to club members. It's all the great stuff you've loved about freshfromflorida.com and more. For club members, it's an interactive experience that will help you get the most out of your Fresh from Florida recipes. Enjoy all the benefits of being a member. Join the Fresh from Florida Club today.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
The Doug Pederson Show presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. Our thanks to head coach Doug Pederson in the opening segment each and every Thursday. And this week, it's Week 16. The Jaguars and the Buccaneers coming up. Raymond James Stadium, Tampa. Battle of teams that are tied for first place in their respective divisions. The number 4 seed in each conference currently. The Jaguars and the Bucs should be a good one. And Baker Mayfield playing good football. The quarterback for the Buccaneers coming off a perfect passer rating last week. Former number 1 overall pick of the Cleveland Browns back in 2018. And
it's amazing a first overall pick of the draft has already bounced around like he has. You know, Cleveland, Carolina, the Rams, and now Tampa.
Yeah.
It's just not very common that you see a first overall pick in that amount of time have that many stops.
Yeah. This one, you know, maybe this one sticks a little bit. I don't know.
It might. Look, he's having a good year. I mean, he's having a very good year. Look, they may end up winning a division title, which would be 3 years in a row. I mean, 2 years with Tom Brady, and then all of a sudden replacing Tom Brady is no easy task.
You think?
That's like the last guy you would ever want to follow up, right?
There's only been 2 places you can do that, though. I mean, think about what happened in New England. Think about that situation. Good luck.
Yeah, that's not a great situation to follow him.
No.
And he's arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. In my opinion, he is. I mean, some other people would argue that other quarterbacks were greater, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, whatever your opinion is. I mean, he's certainly amongst the greatest. And you don't ever want to follow greatness. The only guy that ever really did it, if you think about it, was Steve Young.
Yeah.
And Steve Young followed greatness with his own greatness, which is amazing. And Steve Young was so different than Joe Montana.
Different style, right.
Different style.
Yeah.
A very different style.
Left-handed. That was part of the style.
Well,
but he ran around.
The mobility of Steve Young was just impeccable, but he kept that offense just rolling straight ahead. So they had some really good players.
I was going to say, it wasn't just him. They had a
go
lot
back.
They were stocked.
Because their glory days was kind of the beginning of my career as a player in the National Football League, and they had, let's not forget, on the opposite side of Jerry Rice, John Taylor. They had Tom Rathman. Oh gosh,
Roger Craig.
Roger Craig, who was he ran with such high knees and ran angry. The tight end, had the famous catch. Russ. I'm drawing a blank on his name. And then on defense, they had. They had Haley for a while. They had Dolman, some of the guys left over from other teams, and then Stubblefield and Young on the inside. I mean, Ronnie Lott. I mean, they had guys that were just fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, who was the GM of that team? Who was the personnel guy?
It's a great – I don't know. I was a little young.
Because, when you think about the 49ers, who gets all the credit? It's Bill Walsh. But who assembled that talent for the 49ers in their heyday? It's a great question. Because right now I'm trying to think of it, and it's a perfect example of why the guy hasn't gotten enough credit, because I can't put a name on it. I mean, is it not one of the greatest collections of talent in the history of the National Football League? You go back and you'd say that the Pittsburgh Steelers, with their ability to collect talent back in the 70s was just incredible. And nowadays, I mean, who assembles talent to that level now? It's hard.
Yeah, so Bill Walsh was the actual GM in the late 70s into the early 80s, and then John McVay took over in 83.
Which is Sean McVay's dad.
Yeah, so there you go. And he was there through 1990, apparently.
All right.
So there you have it.
Interesting.
All right, we've got plenty to get to. We're back in a moment. Jaguars offense. Communication was the big word last week. I think it still applies this week.
Well, it always applies every week, and I think that word was used maybe a little bit too much on the offensive side of the ball. It definitely applies to some of the mistakes that the defense made, particularly against Cleveland at Cleveland, because of those 3 explosive plays. Okay, there were definitely some communication issues on them, okay, with the linebackers and then also the defensive backs' communication on the one to Bell.
All right, we're back in a moment. We'll figure out the offensive side after this. It's the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Visionaries, builders, and doers, are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand-new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguar sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
The Doug Pederson Show, presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, glad you're with us on this Thursday ahead of the Jaguars and the Buccaneers, Week 16. Our thanks to head coach Doug Pederson in the opening segment each and every week. Coming up next, we'll hear from Calvin Ridley in the locker room this week and hear a portion of his conversation with the media that he has every Wednesday. And, we're talking about these receivers this week, and two of the top three are injured right now. I mean, Christian Kirk's still on the list, on the injured list, so a little bit longer for him. And then Zay Jones is not practiced this week, coming off a hamstring injury. So Calvin Ridley stepped right up. I mean, he's kind of the old man in the wide receiver room right now.
Well, I consider Evan Ingram a wide receiver, even though he's listed as a tight end.
Yeah.
If you look at how defenses play him and match up against him, they match up against him like he's a wide receiver. They don't put linebackers on him. They play him with defensive backs. And could that role change a little bit this week? All of a sudden now that you get Brenton Strange back, maybe. But I really believe that Evan Ingram needs to become like he was a couple weeks ago for 2 weeks in a row. He's got to become a big part of this offense, a really big part of this offense this week. I'm talking, 12 targets, somewhere in the range of 9 or 10 catches, and that's been about what his percentage has been recently. But I want to see more of an impact from a yardage standpoint with him, and I hope the coaches can get a little creative on how they get him the ball with more yards per catch.
All right, that's all fine. But considering the quarterback situation right now,
I don't care who the quarterback is. I still think you need to
still
target.
get that even with Beathard out.
Yes, I still think you can get that even with Beathard in there. Look, and the Bucs have been without Devin White, their other starting inside linebacker, for the last 3 games, and there's a little bit of a rub there between the head coach and him now about, is he hurt or is he not?
Well, remember, in the offseason, they wouldn't negotiate a new contract, so he got all hot about that. And then
he was a first-round pick in 19, and so
this
looking
is the 5th
at
year.
Contract year.
Yeah, this is the contract year for him, so still no new contract in hand.
And him and Todd Bowles have not been very happy. It's not exactly a kumbaya moment for them in this year's season. But I believe that Evan, if you put him in against those linebackers, if they try to put the linebackers on him, I think he can do some serious damage. Now, Antoine Winfield, one of the best safeties in the league, is back there too. Could they try to put Winfield against him? If so, that's a marquee matchup.
Yeah.
That's like literally, I can't wait to see that matchup. That's one of those things where after the game you want to watch the film to watch a premium matchup, because that's a premium matchup in the National Football League this week.
I mean, and would that be not an advantage for the Jaguars overall, the way Winfield plays everywhere on defense? If you want him one-on-one with the tight end down the field, it's probably just, hey, get him out of here. Get him out of the box altogether, right?
Well, you could if he's going to try to cover Evan.
Because he's sacking guys, he's got quarterback hits, he's got forced fumbles, he's got passes. It's like, come on, just run him down the field.
Maybe. But that's the one part of that I want to see Evan do more of. We see Evan always on those little, what I call stick routes, where he's 5-6 yards down the field, turning around, catching the ball at 7. I mean, when's the last time we saw him running down the seam and has like the one that Luke Farrell had?
Yeah, right.
Luke Farrell had that one catch for 28 yards. I'd love to see Evan end up getting some of them. I mean, it would help the offense in a big way, especially with the absence of Zay. But here's the other guy that's got to step up.
Who's that?
Elijah Cooks. The rookie who has had a roster spot the entire year, undrafted guy from San Jose State. Okay, how many targets does he have?
Elijah Cooks for the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 2023 campaign. So far, Elijah Cooks has a total of 1.
1 target.
Yeah, it was last week. He dropped it.
1 target.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, You got a roster spot, okay, and this is week what?
16.
Okay. What did Doug say about this point of the season? Are you a rookie or are you not a rookie anymore?
You're not a rookie.
Okay.
It's
Elijah
Christmas
Cooks,
week.
let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. He was like the highest rated wide receiver coming out of the preseason according to PFF, which many people say, PFF doesn't mean anything. It's preseason.
You love those guys, though.
No, I think there's some substance to what they have.
Yeah.
The preseason ratings, though, maybe not so much, but I want to see him do something. If you got a roster spot, now here's an opportunity with the injuries that have happened. Now it's time for you to be a big boy, okay, and be a pro and make some plays when given the opportunity. And I hope he gets the opportunity. And one thing that he has that a lot of the other receivers don't is that size and that catch radius. And he did a really good job in the preseason of catching the contested balls. So I hope he gets an opportunity this week.
We'll come back in a moment and hear from Calvin Ridley, Jaguars wide receiver, in the locker room yesterday ahead of this Jaguars-Buccaneers matchup. And this is the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
Eat like a Jag, the fresh from Florida way. Hi everyone, I'm Chef Justin. Head over to freshfromflorida.com and sign up for our loyalty club to unlock interactive perks available only to club members. It's all the great stuff you've loved about freshfromflorida.com and more. For club members, it's an interactive experience that will help you get the most out of your Fresh from Florida recipes. Enjoy all the benefits of being a member. Join the Fresh from Florida Club today.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game. Imagine traveling to watch the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans in Nashville aboard a luxury private jet. Download the free Vaunt app at flyvaunt.com/Jags for your chance to win round-trip private flights, hotel stay, game tickets, and pregame field passes for you and 3 of your friends. When you become a Vaunt member, you can unlock the opportunity to fly private for an entire year for only $1,000. That's it. So download Vaunt at flyvaunt.com/Jags and discover a world of private jet travel today.
The Doug Pederson Show, presented by Fresh from Florida, continues. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman back in just a few moments. Calvin Ridley in the locker room this week, and coming off back-to-back outings where he's had 25 combined targets the last 2 games, 9 catches for 92 yards in that time frame. Last touchdown was at Houston back on Thanksgiving weekend, and he has 5 touchdowns for the season. Trying to get on track now with the final 3 games to go, and with the other 2 primary options at wide receiver injured at the moment, Calvin Ridley trying to take a step up. He was in the locker room yesterday and always speaks with the media on Wednesday. This is from the media portion where the scrum is around him, getting some thoughts from Calvin about going into Week 16, and it is a tight division race all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. We didn't make it too easy for ourselves right now, but there shouldn't be no pressure. Just try to get back to what we were doing before we lost those 3. and get on the right foot and take it from there. Get into the race.
This is not the first week where you've had backup quarterbacks out there taking the first team reps. So how has it been this week with CJ?
It's been good. I mean, obviously we've been in this situation before. CJ does a great job. He knows all the plays, just as good as Trevor. We take it one day at a time, and whenever we know what's going on, really, we're gonna be ready. So we just taking it one practice at a time. We had a good day today, and we're moving forward to tomorrow.
Some more changes last week. Zay comes out with an injury, and here's Jamal back in the lineup. So, I mean, what does that do to the wide receiver room when you got some moving parts this late?
Yeah, this far in, it's hard to keep yourself up. But we got a lot of young guys in our room who are hungry and they're ready to play. And they've been with us all year in camp. And we know they can play and they can step up. So, like Coach Doug says, next man up mentality. If Zay can't go or whoever, I know our young guys will be ready and ready to make some plays.
Stadium's one thing, but what about the defense on the field between the lines in Tampa? What do they have?
Yeah, pretty good defense. They won a Super Bowl with that defense, I think, right?
It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been something like that, yeah. Good defense. I just, good everything. I just want to keep it good.
It doesn't seem to matter to you who's across on the other side, right?
No, I just want to be respectful. Respect each team that we're going against. Really good team, for real. Good corners, good D-line, good linebackers, good safeties. Pretty much just a good core. And but I got a lot of respect for us, and and I know what we should do and what we can do. So, like I said, good team, but we need to, we got to handle our business. I want to respect them. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. And last one for me. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the focus and the details. Pre-snap penalties, a lot of things going on. How has that felt so far? I mean, it's one day on the field, but how do you guys clean that up down the stretch?
Communication. You just, you start in the meetings by telling each other that we got to communicate better. We got to make sure before we leave the huddle that everyone's on the same page. So, when we're in our walkthroughs and, when we're going through our plays, we're just, overly communicating with each other, just, reminding each other that, it's on this snap. This is the play. This is what's going on in the game. So, there's a lot of moving parts, and you can easily forget. Like, it seems like it's easy to just run to the line and snap the ball, but we got a lot of thinking, a lot of looking around, and you can easily forget, what the count is. So, obviously we're professionals and we got to be perfect, but, we're working on it, and that's how you do it.
That is Calvin Ridley, the Jaguars wide receiver in the locker room yesterday. 109 targets for the year. Same amount of targets as Evan Ingram, by the way. And Ingram with 88 catches. Calvin with 60 catches on the year. And Ridley with just a few more yards than Evan Ingram. 781 for Ridley, 729 for the tight end Evan Ingram on the season. The last 3 times out, though, for Ridley. 33 targets, 13 catches, and 118 yards. And it could be his wide receiver room, at least as a fifth-year player for the foreseeable future. And down the stretch in these big, important games, the Jags need Ridley to get back on track for sure. Fresh from Florida is proud to partner with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Eat like a Jag when you choose Fresh from Florida. Jeff Lageman returns after this. It's the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every single play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. You've worked hard for your money. So if you're ready to up your financial game, it's time to choose EverBank. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Earn your advantage at everbank.com/Jaguars.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
The Doug Pederson Show presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. That's a fact. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, the Doug Pederson Show rolling along. That was Calvin Ridley just moments ago from the locker room yesterday, and we all kind of by now know the story of Ridley and his career up to now, and obviously a big year for Calvin. And, coming back off the suspension and missing nearly 2 full seasons, and now he's played in every game, and there have been some good moments. There have been some moments you'd like to see some better play and more consistency out of him as well. But, if he has a chance now the last 3 weeks to really step up and lead the way with this wide receiver room.
Well, he's got a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Because what is his contract situation?
I mean, it's a free agent.
Right. And so here you go. There's 3 games left, an opportunity to be the focal point of an offense if you can find a way to continue to build the chemistry with your quarterback, whoever that is. And so for me, he needs to take advantage of it. Now, there's a lot of speculation about Calvin Ridley in the future with his football team, and I think all of that just needs to be put on hold. You know, to all of that, I say live in the moment, okay? Because if all of a sudden you have great moments this week and then the next week and then the week after that and then in the playoffs, all of that will take care of itself, whether if you're looking at it from his perspective or you're looking at it from the team perspective. Everybody needs to live in the now, and hopefully this now moment that they have is going to be really good for Calvin Ridley and Trevor or CJ, whoever it may be, because with Christian Kirk out, with now Zay Jones out, this is a tremendous opportunity for him to get more opportunities.
We talked a lot about the passing game and obviously the quarterback situation, a little up in the air. Let's see what Trevor Lawrence does, if anything, on Friday, and that could be a step in the right direction. He has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday. C.J. Beathard so far has taken all those first-team reps. So, running the football has not been the easiest as of late either, and that could help an offense. When they've played their best offensive football, they've run the football and balanced things out, and they haven't really been able to lean on that lately.
Well, and then the other thing that the running game gives you that I think this offense is missing a little bit, it gives you the play action, which a lot of the explosive plays come off of play action. And when you have a solid, dependable ground game, people load the box, they deplete the back end, and then it gives you an opportunity at hitting bigger plays, and then teams aren't keeping their safeties back. the Jaguars haven't really seen any loaded boxes this year, unless it's been a 4-minute situation where they've got a lead and they're trying to end up closing the game out by running it. But for the most part, throughout the ball games, teams are respecting the pass. They know that this is a very quarterback-centric offense. I mean, if you look at the half, looking at the numbers from this past game, Trevor's numbers at the half were actually pretty good. 16 of 23, even though he had the fumble, which didn't help much, and then also the situation that happened right there before the half where they didn't get any points. But if you look at the run-pass ratio, Trevor had 23 attempts in the first half, and Etienne had 7 carries. I mean, that's above a 3-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So you'd love to be able to have balance, and I think right now they kind of realize that, look, we can't be they can't be anything like the Ravens where they're going to run the ball. But when you can run the ball, that gives you the opportunity at the explosive plays. And right now, play action is, you're running the ball, but you're not running the ball effectively to where you're getting defenses to go, gosh, we really got to worry about this rushing attack of the Jaguars. They're not overly concerning themselves with it.
Part of that, remember Travis Etienne has been on the injury report the last few weeks with a chest issue. He's not on there anymore.
No, and I thought early in the game this past week, I thought that they ran the ball pretty effectively to start that game against the Ravens. I thought they came out with the right attitude. We're going to run it a little bit. We're going to be physical. We're going to be able to play a little bit of our own physical aspect of running the game. But it just didn't last. It didn't have any footing to stay throughout the ball game. And that's where this offense, I think, wants to be at some point. I don't know if they're going to be able to get there this year. That's tough to ask. They've had a lot of moving parts with the offensive line. They have had some performances up front that's not where it needs to be. And then Etienne, you're right. I thought he ran the ball harder. He finished the plays early in that game, where the previous game, Cincinnati, Cleveland, he wasn't finishing some of the plays. So that's encouraging. Dearness Johnson's been slowed a little bit too. I thought Bigsby was going to have a little bit bigger role this past game, but the numbers just weren't there from a carry standpoint. He only got to 1 carry for -2 yards. Could he have a little bit of an impact this week? You can get a backup running back a number of carries, but, here's the thing. You got to put some plays together as an offense for the second running back or the third running back to get carries.
Stay on the field, sustain some drives.
That's right.
Yeah,
and
3 and
have
outs.
some success running the ball, moving the chains, and then stacking plays.
Back in a moment, our final thoughts ahead of this Jaguars-Buccaneers matchup. And Luke Combs is bringing 2 nights of the Growing Up and Getting Old tour to Everbank Stadium, May 3rd and 4th. With different special guests each night. Tickets on sale now. Visit everbankstadium.com. This is the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
Eat like a Jag the fresh from Florida way. Hi everyone, I'm Chef Justin. Head over to freshfromflorida.com and sign up for our loyalty club to unlock interactive perks available only to club members. It's all the great stuff you've loved about freshfromflorida.com and more. For club members, it's an interactive experience that will help you get the most out of your Fresh from Florida recipes. Enjoy all the benefits of being a member. Join the Fresh from Florida Club today.
The kick is up. It's good!
Score winning sub deals this Jaguars regular season at Firehouse Subs. Get 2 medium subs for just $10 after any game when the Jaguars kick a field goal of 40 yards or more. It's a bold deal for the bold city. Sign up at firehousesubs.com/field-goals for Firehouse for offer details and to automatically receive this offer when you use your Firehouse Subs rewards account. Redeemable only at participating Jacksonville and Orlando area restaurants. Only available on the Firehouse Subs app and online ordering. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game. Imagine traveling to watch the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans in Nashville aboard a luxury private jet. Download the free Vaunt app at flyvaunt.com/Jags for your chance to win round-trip private flights, hotel stay, game tickets, and pregame field passes for you and 3 of your friends. When you become a Vaunt member, you can unlock the opportunity to fly private for an entire year for only $1,000. That's it. So download Vaunt at flyvaunt.com/Jags and discover a world of private jet travel today.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
Hey Florida, this is Luke Fortner, center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all know the rush of a good game, but there's no winning with aggressive driving on our roads. It's all about strategy and control. Embrace the space with the driver in front of you, go the speed limit, and use that blinker. These are the moves that make us all champions of the road. Target Zero is our game plan for safer roads and is a testament to our teamwork and dedication. Join me and let's get everyone home safely every single day.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
The Doug Pederson Show, presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. And grab your hats and get ready for a good time. Everbank Stadium welcomes country music legend George Strait with Chris Stapleton and Little Big Town, May 11th, 2024. That's a busy couple weeks in May, by the way.
Count me in on that one.
Tickets on sale now, Logs. Lucky you. For more information, visit everbankstadium.com. Chris Stapleton does a fantastic job on the Monday Night Football Open now.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
And
Snoop's on there, too.
Yeah. Does a great job. It's cool.
Yeah. And then George Strait, I mean, come on.
George Strait's like, how many number one hit country songs does George Strait have?
A lot. Big number.
I want to say it's a record of some kind, but it's just a tremendous amount. How old is he, too, by the way?
I bet you he's mid-60s. I'm going to guess.
You think?
Yeah, I'm going to guess.
I think he might be a
What do you
older
think?
than that.
What do you think?
I think he'd probably be.
I'm going to say 66.
I'm going to say late 60s.
Okay.
Maybe 70.
Let's see. He is 71.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the number of hit songs that he's had.
44.
That's crazy.
No, 60 now.
Yeah, it's
Jeez,
crazy.
60 number one.
Crazy.
hits. So that's in May. Coming up in like 3 days. What day is this? Thursday? The game's Sunday.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Jaguars.
We're
and the
here Thursday, JP.
Yeah. Hey, Christmas is coming up too. The Jaguars get the Buccaneers on Christmas Eve down in Tampa, Raymond James Stadium. We all know the storylines by now. The quarterback
Great field,
is
by the way.
Really?
Oh, the grass is fantastic in Tampa.
Oh.
Yeah. And I had this discussion with somebody the other day, and we were talking about the best fields in the National Football League, and I would put Jacksonville's in the top 5. Tampa has historically been, the last time we were there, I would say that one's a top 5 as well. You know, and typically the warmer climates have the great ones. You know, the old Raymond James Stadium or whatever it was called. Yeah. What was it called?
Oh, the old sombrero.
The sombrero.
Yeah. I forget the name of it. But, yeah, this is Raymond James now.
That one had this huge crown. So as a pass rusher, felt like I was rushing uphill because it literally had that much of a crown on the field. This one has a great drainage system, and it's not crowned like that. It's an exceptional playing surface in Tampa.
The Chiefs, Arrowhead. George Toma is a longtime groundskeeper and always does the Super Bowls and stuff. Like, he's been there.
Right, but the problem with Kansas City is that it's in Kansas City, okay? Grass doesn't grow great in Kansas City in the fall.
Yeah.
Some grasses do grow better in colder weather, but it's always going to be better in your warmer climates for the most part. But it's a good surface. It's a good surface.
Okay, but you got to have a team playing well on whatever surface is out there.
But Tampa is a great playing surface.
Okay, with the Jaguars, no matter the surface, need to play better football altogether.
That's a big yes, JP. And stop the self-inflicted wounds. Start playing some clean football. If you go back and you look at the last 3 games in the losing streak, you can point to different moments to where the team has made mistakes, which are completely in their control. And if they don't make those mistakes, or if they make those plays, they win those 3 games. And that's kind of the story of the league. If you look at a Tom Coughlin coach team, Doug Pederson going back to the Super Bowl year, last year as they got on that run, they weren't beating themselves. And historically, those other teams, as Doug Pederson, they didn't beat themselves. And if you take care of the football and you don't make mistakes, you give yourself a great chance of winning. And that's the margin for error in this league is so small. It's much different than college football, because a lot of people try to think of it as college football or similar to college football, and you can't look at it that way. They're like, how in the world can they lose to that team? Well, you know what? The guys on the other side of the ball, they get paid too. Okay, they get paid a lot of money.
They do, and it'll be this Sunday. 4:05 kick. We're on the air on the network at 3 o'clock with Countdown to Kickoff. Jeff Lageman, JP Shadrick. Our thanks to Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber. Thanks to you for listening to the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.